we said it on Friday. I thought Green Bay would blow them out. I'm not alone in that. And that's exactly what they did. But it shows you, Victor, why a lot of times, and we're all guilty of it, we overreact to week one. Like, oh, my God, the Green Bay Packers are dead. Aaron Rodgers has no weapons to throw to anymore. And even though statistically he didn't have a big game yesterday because they ran the heck out of the ball, the Green Bay Packers are going to be just fine.
They're going to be absolutely okay. They got Aaron Rodgers, who understands how to manage this team, understands how to get his ego and his tempo out there in check with that football team. But when you have guys like Adam Jones and you've got guys, veteran guys that you can hand the ball off to and be secure with their gameplay and how they're going to protect the football and how they're going to get production out of those guys. I mean, it's just such a luxury. And you know, those young guys, those rookie receivers, they're a work in progress. But as the season goes on, under the Aaron Rodgers tutelage, under the, you know, who knows how much he's yelling at them in the meeting rooms and on the practice field, but they'll come around. And he's going to need them to come around in order to be successful this year.
It doesn't hurt to play a bad team in your own building. Like you may remember last year, when he told Bears fans, I own you. I mean, he does. Like, there was no way the Chicago Bears were going to win that game, especially Green Bay coming in off a loss. And Justin Fields, I was shocked. What, he threw the ball 3 times the entire game? You know, had under 100 yards. But to me, that was yet last night's game. You know, the first half was better. The second half, there were basically no points scored. So it wasn't great to watch. It wasn't great theater compared to a lot of the games we got. But we all do it. We overreact, and now Green Bay's sitting there 1-1. Everybody's happy again. Even Aaron Rodgers in week 1, he's throwing everybody under the bus. You don't know your assignments. You're missing blocks. You're running the wrong routes. And then with a win, even Aaron Rodgers found a way to blame himself for a bad performance. I don't know how you turn a win into a boring snooze fest at the press conference, but he did it. And part of me thinks that, you know, he heard some of the criticisms of throwing guys under the bus, so this was his way of saying, hey, I wasn't perfect tonight. Now, I'm not sure if that plays in a locker room or not. Yeah. He's Aaron Rodgers. He's different, and they all know it. But I guess, listen, if I'm going to be critical of him when he throws guys under the bus, you at least have to also give him the praise when he takes ownership that he didn't have the greatest game.
Yeah, and that definitely translates in the locker room, obviously. When you're in the locker room and your quarterback takes ownership of his mistakes or the things that he could have done better or some plays that he wishes he had back, you love that. And you know you're going to go into the meeting room and learn from it. But there were some moments in this game where they were sloppy, uncharacteristically, like, when a guy comes in motion and the ball snaps and hits the guy in the arm, like, that's the quarterback's fault. You got to time that motion up and time the cadence up so that ball is snapped when it's supposed to. So it's just little things like that it's uncharacteristic. You don't really see that out of Aaron Rodgers. But again, he said it himself, 28-33, it was their night. Those guys are running the ball, huge night. I mean, those guys are exceptional, hard to guard and hard to game plan for because they just do so many things well.
Yeah, well, listen, the team that Chicago beat in week 1 in a monsoon, San Francisco, winds up getting, it's interesting. There's like 2 sides to this whole situation where for some people, San Fran gets horrendous news that Trey Lance breaks his ankle and he's done for the season. But there are other people. Listen, I never root for injury because that's effed up to do that. Yeah. And, you know, it's football. It's a violent sport. I mean, you dealt with it in your career as well. Of course. You know, Trey Lance broke his ankle yesterday, and here comes the white knight. My main man, Jimmy G, who's perfect on his first drive, leads them down the field for a touchdown. You see right there. And while, listen, statistically, was he fantastic? No, he really never is. He also had a running touchdown later in the game. But I told you last week, Cody, that maybe San Francisco, a bunch of just evil geniuses who knew at some point someone's going to get hurt, Trey Lance. And why trade Jimmy G? Why cut Jimmy G when we're going to need Jimmy G? And he delivered the goods yesterday. And I will be honest, I hate the fact that Trey Lance got hurt, but it did make me happy to see Jimmy G come in. Don't forget, didn't take a single snap this summer. Mm-hmm. He was also rehabbing his non-throwing shoulder, and he wasn't in their plans, and he stepped in like Captain America and saved the day and showed you some quarterbacks don't need to practice. He's one of them.
I'm just reminding you, in a couple of weeks, when he underwhelms you so much in 3 weeks, you're going to have to sit here and be like, well, I miss Trey Lance as my backup because they don't have a backup now.
Well, I don't even know who the backup is.
Exactly.
No one right now.
Exactly,
No one. It's me and you. We can go out there and be back.
By the way, I can throw it a little bit, Victor. I do have a torn labrum, and it hurts just to do that. All right, now here's what's happening, and I will say, San Francisco obviously wins the game yesterday, all well and good, and I thought they would. The Seahawks stink. Geno Smith stinks, and I thought it was going to be a blowout, regardless of who the quarterback was. Yeah. So I kind of got the game I thought I was going to get. But what's amazing to me is that we live in a world now, it seems, where there's always got to be someone blamed, even if a situation is blameless. Trey Lance got hurt because he's playing football. Yet there are people out there, and you guys will see this throughout the day today, apparently some well-respected, blue check mark on Twitter, football reporters who their take on the San Francisco situation is not, hey, great job by Jimmy being prepared to play. Hey, give San Francisco's defense credit. They stymied Seattle, blah, blah, blah. They're blaming Kyle Shanahan. Of course. And this is so crazy to me that the rhetoric out there now is that Kyle Shanahan put Trey Lance in a position to get hurt by running him in between the tackles.
Nonsense.
What?
Nonsense.
What? I feel bad that Kyle Shanahan, in which he should be celebrating a win, and obviously he's probably devastated that the kid they believe so much in got hurt and is out for the year, and they knew that, I'm sure, at halftime. He broke his ankle. But the fact that Kyle Shanahan's got to answer questions about, would you redo that play, or hey, are you taking any responsibility for the injury, is mind-blowing to me.
Mind-blowing to me. I mean, he literally just got hurt playing the game of football.
Period, stop.
They run that play 2 million times in practice. It goes seamlessly. They hit all the different options. It just so happens that in this game, unfortunately, he took a bad turn and got his ankle broken, and you turn to Jimmy G, which Kyle Shanahan should be thanking his lucky stars that Jimmy G was there to be able to carry that load and go out there and win that football game for him.
I agree. Like I said, sometimes you fall into good decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes, I'm a Jet fan, you fall into bad decisions over and over again. But at the San Francisco, I guarantee you, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan at some point last night, had a drink together and said,
deep breath.
We are the luckiest two SOBs in the world that we didn't totally foobar this entire situation with Jimmy G. But you also see a lot of times in week 2, and we'll go through a lot of the games coming up, that really good teams that lose in week 1 typically do rebound in week 2. And I think you saw that with the 2 games we've already mentioned. Green Bay coming back and having no problem with Chicago. San Francisco even losing their starting quarterback, having no problem at all beating Seattle. To me, that is a sign of a good team. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.